John Raspanti with MaxBoxing.com and Seconds Out. I'm in San Francisco with heavyweight prospect LaRon Mitchell, who's 10-0 with 10 knockouts. So, LaRon, I want to ask you some questions. I mean, your amateur career, Andy Nance told me you were 26-4. Is that pretty accurate? He wasn't sure about that, though.
Yeah, around there. I thought it might have been like 28-4, 29-5, something like that. But it was short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Okay, now tell me about your Olympic experience, because you're an alternate at the 2012 Olympics. Was it a little disappointing that you didn't get to fight for your country? I mean, you were on the team, but you didn't, you didn't get to kind of show yourself in a sense.
At the Olympics, no, because Dominic Brazil, he earned it. So much respect to him. I do feel like I won my fights to get there, but I wasn't. God has a plan for everybody. So I'm not complaining. I could have gone to the Olympics, something dramatic happened, and I could not be here. So I'm grateful for everything that's happened. And I did get a chance to fight and represent my country. In Russia, I took third at the World Cup.
Okay.
And Siberia, which was weird. And,
yeah, really.
And I also fought in Ukraine. So I got a chance to fight for my country on more than one occasion. So I'm grateful.
Okay, that's real good. Tell me, you got into boxing late. Now, how did you get in? Have you always liked boxing as a child, or did you just come to it later in your life? How did that all come about?
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching Sweepy Whitaker.
Oh, yeah.
And thinking that's the only way you're supposed to fight, And then the next time I think I really was watching boxing, was really into it, was around the time of Chris Bird. So, those are some of my favorite fighters, some of the guys I can always watch their fights, and they never get old to me. And me getting into boxing late was, I just kind of needed something to do in terms of me being an athlete and me always having to have something to do. Like, I can't just go to work and come home. And I was training mixed martial arts and boxing. I'm a boxing guy, I think the newer generation, the younger kids, they may cater more towards MMA to an extent, but boxing is still big. Canelo, Floyd, all of these guys boxing. I mean, we just had the biggest pay-per-view buy fight, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. So I think MMA had its run, and now we're back on to where the youngsters have two options, MMA or boxing.
It's true. Now, when I met you, you're very much involved with the Ring of Fire, and you're trained by Jimmy Ford, who's a great guy. I met you, I don't know if you remember, you were sparring with the one and only Joe Gamina. You guys were in this tiny little he does remember, little half a ring. And I mean, and Jim was telling me you really learn how to fight on the inside because you really don't have anywhere to go because you're in that little tiny ring, right? Yep. So do you feel like you learned a lot from those experiences? I mean, in that little ring at the Ring of Fire?
Yes, no doubt. A lot of my success, I do have to give credit to Jimmy Ford and Joe Gamina from sparring that little 6x6 ring.
If that,
because I had no choice but to stand in. You got to understand, I was walking basically in off the streets without having thrown a punch. To have a guy that's 180 pounds punch me in the nose and my nose is bleeding is a very humbling experience. The beautiful thing about it was he didn't punch me, and I never came back. I came back and I enjoyed it, and it went from him busting my nose to him not busting my nose to where we would learn to work together. So I'm very grateful for having that opportunity. The ring seems so big when I spar, even to this day, because every now and again I will go back because you got to remember where you come from. So I love working out at the small gym at Crocker.
Yeah, I remember that very well because you guys, it was a sparring, but you guys were going at it pretty hard. I mean, you laughed a couple of times, but I don't know if Joe knows any other way to come hard. That's Joe. He's a great guy. Yeah. So, do you consider yourself a pretty good inside fighter because of that experience?
I'm going to tell my opponents no. I can't fight inside.
Okay.
I can't fight outside.
No.
I can't fight.
Okay.
I feel like I think I can fight inside. I'm still, and as much as I say yes, I still know that I need to grow as well. So I can tell you, yes, I'm a good inside fighter, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying to grow. I want to get better. I got a long way to go.
Sure. Now, you got 10 knockouts and 10 pro fights. There's always this big question about power. Where does power come from? Do you think it's technique? Do you think it's God-given? Is it both? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. A lot of it, I think, once you get to a higher level, comes from learning to set things up or catch the other guy when he's trying to set something up. Timing is a big, you always hear people say timing. Sometimes you can just be George Foreman or, oh my goodness, he fought last night against the Japanese guy, Muria, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
Japanese guy.
He's got power. He got knocked out last night, but he's got some pop.
And you know what? That fight could have gone either way.
It was a great fight.
Yeah, so he's got pop. A lot of guys can really crack. The Klitschko's, they can crack. Deontay Wilder, he has God-given power.
Yeah.
But he also has to set it up. He's noticing as he's fighting higher guys, he's doing a better job of setting up his God-given power. So I think it's a combination of everything. That was the long roundabout answer, I guess.
Well, that's okay. Now, I would make a mistake if I didn't talk about your day job. You're a boxer by night and a school teacher by day.
Yes.
Now, what grade do you teach?
I teach kindergarten through 8th grade.
Kindergarten. And how long have you been a teacher?
3 years.
3 years. Do you find it kind of surreal sometimes to be teaching and then turning around and going to the gym? You're talking about pretty opposite careers here, LaRon, so,
I do, but I've always looked at myself and the blessings that God gives us as an opportunity to inspire others. And it's a very humbling experience when I go to school and the kids are like, "Hey, Mr. Mitchell, are you going to..." And they ask.
So they know all about it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I had the full support of the community and the school.
Oh, cool.
And I was a rock star on Friday when they watched my interview on TV.
So, yeah.
So it's very humbling, and it's an encouragement because I may leave work kind of tired, but then I have to be a creature of practicing what I preach. I do that with my own children. I can't tell the kids in school to work hard through the end of the semester or the quarter or the trimester, and I don't do the same thing. I go home and lay up with my feet up and watch football instead of going to the gym and training, or go to the gym and don't train as hard as I should. That's the same thing as a student taking his homework home and doing the first row instead of the whole page. So I have to, if I do it, I can honestly tell them that, hey, I'm working, I'm enjoying my job, but I'm also enjoying my career as well, which is, both teaching and boxing.
Don't you think that boxing is I don't know if it's the sport that you sacrifice the most, but it seems like it is, because I tell Dove here, you have to believe in yourself, you start with a dream, and then you have to push yourself to get out there, and if you don't, you're going to pay a pretty bad price. So it is almost the ultimate sacrifice being a fighter, I think. You agree?
I totally agree. Boxing is a lifestyle that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to put it. I can try to explain it to somebody that's not involved in the sport, and they will never fully understand because they haven't gone through it. I can even try to explain it to somebody who's done it on a smaller scale as an amateur or a pro, just kind of walking into it, gung-ho, not really caring, not really taking it serious, and they won't understand it. A lot of it, every time I eat, I think about what I'm eating. When I'm hitting the bag, if I don't finish a round, that comes up before my fight. Well, I remember 3 months ago, I stopped at 2 minutes and 58 seconds instead of going the whole three minutes. To think of all that. I remember that one time where I ran 2.5 miles instead of my full 5, or my full 4.5 with sprints. All of that comes up. So it's a lifestyle, and it's a lot mentally, it's a lot emotionally. So yes, it is a sacrifice, because I would love to go home and eat ho-hos and Krispy Kreme donuts, and I could be down here right now with my family, just enjoying what was going on. But I was actually resting because I had to work out this morning.
I see.
So it's a sacrifice.
So your next fight is, I think Andy said something about, is it in January you're going to be?
February.
It's February. Okay.
Yes.
You don't have an opponent lined up yet?
No,
not a chance. It's going to be in Southern California, right?
Yes.
Now, obviously, our friend Joe Gamina fought here at the Longshoremen's Hall. It was great. Have you've been there, right?
Yes.
What a venue that place is. That place amazing or what? We want to get you there. How do we get? Is that in the works that you're going to fight? You're a San Francisco guy. You should be fighting here.
I would really love to. That would be one of my dreams. I've accomplished one of my dreams, believe it or not. One of my dreams was to fight in Russia, I did it. Rocky IV is one of my favorite movies, so
Rocky
I wasn't
IV.
freed. I actually went over and represented. But to fight here, please contact Thompson Promotions. Just come down to and watch a couple of my fights. If I get a big enough fan base, I'm pretty sure they'll have me headline a card up here, which will be a beautiful thing because everybody who I'm associated with and everybody who is in my circle, we have been branching out and trying to inspire others to just chase their dreams. And what better way to have that than see someone who you deal with on a daily basis, you know, living their dream here in the city in front of you. You know, what better inspiration can I be than that? You know, that'd be beautiful. I'd love to fight at the Lawrence Strowman.
Yeah, that's a great place.
Sell out in 2 days. Probably less than that.
Yeah.
Sell out.
You've been there, right? They got the overhanging balcony, and it's a great venue.
Yes.
Okay, so you're 10-0, as I said, with 10 knockouts. We want everybody to know that. Now, what are your ultimate goals? I mean, is it a title that you really want? I mean, it usually is. I mean, you're 35, but it doesn't mean anything in heavyweights, as we were talking about. You're 10-0, 10 KOs. Do you have what is your ultimate that you're looking for in this career?
To just inspire others to do, to have no limits. Do what your heart desires. My boxing career could have been over a long time ago. I didn't have intentions on being this far. Do I want to win a heavyweight championship? Yes, I do, because that puts me on a bigger platform to be an inspiration to others. Do I want to win every fight by knockout? Yes. Do I want to not get punched? Yes. I just want to enjoy the ride and be a tool, you know, that's used by God to help inspire others to chase their dreams and to add my little piece of the puzzle to make the world a better place, so that when I'm gone, you know, people will remember me.
That's perfectly said. Okay, LaRon, I want to thank you for meeting me here in San Francisco. This is John Raspanti with Max Boxing. That is heavyweight LaRon Mitchell. He'll be fighting in February, going for his 11th straight knockout. Good luck to you, LaRon.
Thanks.
All right.